What is going on, guys? Lottery Socks here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you guys. I am thankful for each and every one of you guys that are subscribed to the channel. I really do appreciate the ones who tune in and day out and show strong support for the channel. It means everything to me, and I couldn't do it without you guys. Also, I hope you guys like the profile pic for the holidays. I usually change it on Thanksgiving until a little bit after Christmas, but I just wanted to put it there early because my Halloween spirit kind of faded away a little bit early in the fall spirit. I wanted to bring in the background for the holidays. Lottery socks with the Santa hat, the snow in the background, as well as the Christmas tree. And yeah, we get a day off the markets today, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to make a video to prep us for tomorrow, an early close on Friday, as well as next week. Now, before we get into the video, Discord is 15% off today only for Thanksgiving. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a shot. For the ones who aren't in Discord, the link is right under the video. It should be the second one, and it's also in the comments. So 15% off today only. It's going to change tomorrow. Get in the Discord if you've been thinking about it. Today is the day for you guys. Without further ado, hit the like button. Let's get into it. Bank of America is saying that the S&P 500 will hit 5,000 and a new all-time high next year. So they're saying it's going to hit 5,000 this year, or looking at the SPY 500, which would be about another 10% from where it's trading at right now at 455 to come up to hit that $500 level. Okay, we have 1 month left to do so. In today's video, we got a lot of stuff to touch on for December. Looking at the S&P 500, there aren't any patterns previously for December to say confidently, is the SPY going to dump? Is the SPY going to rally? Right? Usually you see historically, October, November, this cycle plays out, or August, June, right? The summer, June, July, August, this cycle plays out. Not for December. I'm looking and it's kind of chopped. It's either up, it's down, it's up, it's down. You can't really tell coming into it. However, there are a few catalysts that could particularly shift the market. Number one, I want to say every single bank was wrong on their S&P 500 year-end price target, basically. So take this with a grain of salt. And number two, one thing that is probably the scariest thing is Jim Cramer has said that the economy is heading for a soft landing, which means that, yeah, the SPY is gonna be toast. No, but in all seriousness, guys, the SPY broke out of this macro trend, kinda, right? It's fighting exactly on the line of the macro trend line, macro descending resistance, which is going to be a crucial level for it. But not only that, the SPY filled a gap, okay? This is also important to note. S&P 500 had a gap fill right here, right around 455.50, 455.47, came up, wicked, filled the gap, and now it is going to get dangerous since the gap is filled. The SPY has not had a retracement. We expected a retracement, and I do still expect a retracement, especially dipping our toes in this box that I said 455 to 460 before getting a retracement. We could definitely see that for the month of December, because this could have already been our Santa rally. Which brings me into AMC. These are the past Decembers for the past 3 years. This is the cycle from December 1st to December 31st each and every year for AMC. It doesn't look good. You see a massive sell-off, massive sell-off, massive sell-off, same exact thing every single time. And there is actually a pattern here. It drops 50% each and every December, and I have been calling for a new low. I want to point out one thing. And in the previous videos, the ones who are like, oh, you're a shill because you said GameStop coming down to 1010, or you said GameStop coming down to 375. If you guys actually had brain cells, you'd be thanking me, right? Because then you can make money in either direction and add more shares. Instead of calling someone a shill, maybe using your brain cells and thanking me in the comments would have benefited you. But instead, your portfolio is going to look bad the day after Thanksgiving, and it's just not a good show all around, right? But anyway, AMC down 50% each and every December cycle. You see it back here, you see it up here, and then you see it right here. With that being said, with the cycle that we have drawn out with AMC, I said it's going to find a new low. I think it's going to come back up to $8 or right around there, right, over the next week or so, and then scale down, find that new low, which would be at $4 even, which is a 50% drop from where we're at now. So you probably thought it was going to be worse, but $4 even, 50% drop. I'm not saying it can't go lower. It could go lower. And I'm not playing puts on AMC. It's just very choppy. It's very barcode-ish. Like, I don't like it. I don't like playing anything on it. I hold my shares. I add more shares when it gets super low. And I think it's going to get lower, and I'll add more shares when it gets lower. That's probably it, right? As for GameStop, same exact thing. If I zoom out, look at the December cycles. This happened December. This happened December. They're dumps, right? GameStop trades with AMC. It is what it is. The drop to 1010 would be about a 19% drop. The drop to 375 would be about a 70% drop. And if AMC is dropping 50%, GameStop can very well drop 70% to hit that level, hit that low. And I can tell you right now, I'm over leveraged on AMC. But if GameStop comes to 375, I'm loading the boat on GameStop because I would love GameStop at 375. I would absolutely love it. I am in for a squeeze for both of these. I'm just letting you guys know. Not one thing has changed. 375 is steal. Also, GameStop is announcing their earnings on December 6th. Okay, so keep that in your charts. Put that in your schedule. They just dropped when they're announcing earnings. Finally, Tesla. We need to talk about Tesla real quick before we get into Friday. We're playing calls in Tesla in the Discord, on the YouTube. Some of you guys have. We talked about it in members only, and then we posted a video about it. Tesla came up to the top of the Bollinger Bands a second time, and it is looking for a retracement. We were calling out a retracement coming down to about 221.50 or 217.50, right around there, 217 to 221 for a retracement, which Tesla has not done yet. There is also a slight gap to be filled. Overall, this is the bearish case scenario, and I don't think this is going to play out. I just wanted to put it here just in case. If Tesla broke below this trend line, a clean break, right? I'm not going to get out if it just breaks below and flashes. I'm going to get out if it clean breaks down, and I'll probably be down a lot at that point, but I just want to let you guys know this is the bearish case scenario, touching the top of the Bollinger Bands, getting a sell-off, coming back up, testing it again, and not breaking, right? We need a break of this macro trend line on Tesla, and I'm watching for that. I do still think it's going to happen. I'm still in my Tesla calls. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update. Still looking for a retracement. Now, the VIX. I want to talk about the VIX because historically, starting in December, the VIX actually has a pattern. Not the SPY, but VIX has a pattern, right? It's a spike in volatility. And usually a spike in volatility aligned with a SPY selling off is not good. And SPY is set up to potentially have a retracement. So VIX, I think it's going to bounce off 1275 and start getting a pop as the SPY retraces. This is my outlook. And then I am going to look for an entry into calls on the SPY when it's done retracing, right? When the trend turns around. I'm not going to play against the trend. But I just want to let you guys know that that is the case. On top of that, the risk of a VIX turkey bursting out from the SoftBank oven is upon us. There's not a too long didn't read, but we covered SoftBank a little bit. Overall, if you do want to read this, I can link it in the comments, but we talked a little bit about SoftBank, and that could potentially have a trigger for the VIX as well. So there are just some catalysts lining up that you should pay attention to. Finally, the FDIC just issued a final rule on November 16th that will force 6 banks to report an FDIC special assessment expense totaling more than $9.3 billion in the final quarter of this year. The new rule would see some eye-watering amounts for the largest banks, including JP Morgan at $3 billion, Bank of America at $1.9, Wells Fargo $1.8, Citibank at $1.5, US Bank Corp at $650 million, and Trust Bank at $460 million. Basically, the FDIC is beginning what is hopefully an awakening among regulators in capital markets and putting their foot down. Instead of eating the cost of preventing an entire banking system collapse in the wake of failures of Silicon Valley and Signature Bank, or passing those costs onto unsuspecting consumers, FDIC is passing the bill right back to the largest banks who, because of their large amounts of uninsured deposits during the time, were most at risk of suffering depositor runs. Fun fact, for further context, at the time of their failures, their assets held by Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank were equal to 58% of the total assets held by the banks that failed during the global financial crisis. Banks are basically toast. In a new form of peer pressure, FDIC-insured banks will now be footing the bill for failures of their FDIC-insured cohorts. Last but not least for the banks is JGLO, a JP Morgan hedge fund dressed up as an ETF to short against it. Very similar to 2008 when Goldman Sachs was creating CDOs to dump their toxic mortgages and selling them to pension funds so Paulson Hedge Fund could bet against them. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And before we get into some sprinkle on top to close out the video, a quick station break for the Mumu investing app. If you guys want up to 15 free stocks, each valued up to $2 grand per stock, as well as 5.1% APY on your uninvested cash that sits in your Mumu account, use my link, sign up for Mumu, and make a deposit of any amount. It can literally be $1. You will start earning benefits from there. Tell your family to do it at the dinner table. Go to my link on my channel and do it. It's free money. It's free cash. Also, you get a ton of other benefits like level 2 order book data, trading options, going long, going short, and more. That link is in the top of the description as well as pinned in the top of comments. And don't forget, Discord is with that link, 15% off for that. Finally, SpaceX plans to sell shares next month at a $150 billion valuation. Let me know if you guys are going to be purchasing. Netflix gave $11 million to a movie director to make a movie, and the movie director instead lost all the money trading options in the stock market per New York Times. My life in a nutshell. Finally, Binance users have now pulled over $1 billion from the exchange in the last 24 hours following this whole lawsuit. And here's the price of Bitcoin on every single Thanksgiving day from 2010. 28 cents, $2.50, $12.50, $813, $376, $328, $739, 8K, 4K, 7K, 18K, 58K, 1637 this year. Bitcoin, solid, it scales up, it retraces, and Thanksgiving is a day to track it. I love you all. Lottery Stocks out.